Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the final game of the NLC this week. Not ever. Don't you worry. It's Fnatic Rising going up against Godsent. And Nymeria, Fnatic Rising lost a couple of their recent performances. Need to find some form.
They do, but Godsent have been struggling in their own right. Yes, they did pick up the win, but you know that's one win which they need amongst a great many. And to take one here would be one of the bigger upsets we've seen, even including yesterday.
Yeah, and I mean, I think in context, when you're talking about Fnatic Rising, they are probably still the strongest team in the league. I think it's them, then SNG, then, you know, you can have your arguments about BTXL and then Tricked. Not to disrespect any of the other teams in Division B, I just feel like that is kind of the pecking order of things right now. But yeah, you know, losing to BTXL, they almost pulled back from a game which realistically they had no business winning. They were 2 auto attacks off the Nexus. And then Riddle, I don't know, I just feel like Riddle played a better game yesterday. And actually, there you go, a name I should actually mention in that sort of list. Riddle looked really damn strong too. So, you know, when we're talking about into this Godsent matchup, who Nymeria rightly says they're struggling, this should be kind of a walk in the park for Fnatic Rising.
We've got a lot of bans coming through already, a lot of flexible picks. I think one thing I'll say, not about this game, but I think you're sleeping on Galaxy Racer in that conversation. But Gwen going to be taken off the table with Lee Sin, Set, Zinzao, and Akali. So is the regular suspects and Fresh joining them on the bench? So there's still power to be picked. We say that every single game. Stuff like the Viego, stuff like the Diana, but it could be Lulu even.
I mean, now Thrash's off the table. I mean, Lulu doesn't always like laning into that. I'm not sure that'd be first pick. This is a lot more stable. This allows you to have, again, because it's not just the Renekton top possibility, you can chuck it mid as well. Renekton mid is very good into a lot of your typical melee mid laners that you pick up, whether that's a Viego or a Silas or whatever. Renekton can really stunt that. So picking this up early gives them that stability in the early game and just saying, you pick a melee champion, this thing's going to dumpster them.
Yeah, and Nocturne's up. The pick that's kind of considered like the pick on this match. Not quite sure how that's happened. I hope Godsent recognize that Nocturne is up. Otherwise, if we see Fnatic Rising do something like, you know, Nocturne Diana, just because the picks are up and they don't care about the bottom lane matchup that much, Godsent are going to struggle to skirmish on the top side.
Godsent don't pick it up themselves. Okay, I guess we're in Magic Fantasyland where Nocturne was never a pick. I mean, I think so. As soon as I first started talking, I was like, oh yeah, I've got to talk about the first pick that's gone in. We're meant to be entertainers. We're meant to keep you guys engaged and stuff. And you just kind of forget the really obvious thing, which has just been left out. It's okay. Guess we're not accepting Nocturne exists. Sweet.
You know, the Diana's going to be locked in. Lucian as well, we've seen Forviven play this one. We saw it yesterday from Forviven, actually. Wasn't too successful, of course, losing out in that game. But if that's there, it could just be a free pick for Godsent to look towards this Nocturne. Or, as you say, magical Christmas land where Nocturne doesn't exist. Yeah, and honestly, I like to live in that world sometimes.
No, there you go. I think just kind of baiting. And now, immediately to me, it's like Fnatic Rising have this sort of Exodia topside where what do you even lock in if you're Godsent to try and contest this topside? You know, wherever the Nocturne goes, he's going to have lane priority. Renekton is one of the hardest champions in the game to sort of skirmish against, and there's not really many picks that can outright contest him in lane. Volibear being locked in, more or less likely to be in the jungle as opposed to a solo lane here. So now Fnatic Rising even have the opportunity to remove away solo lane matchups, which they feel like might actually give them some sort of teething pains in the early stages. And Godsent, I understand definitely removing away the Kalista, and I would imagine maybe they follow up with the Varus, but still a bit of a head scratcher for me.
Yeah, because, I mean, my first thought was, there is nothing which Fnatic do but dive. So again, you can pick in very heavy anti-dive champions and play Tarak, I mentioned it a couple of times today, and that would mean that you could put Karma into something like, well, either of those lanes and just hope that it survives. But on the other side of that, you need to make sure that you're not picking. I mean, I think you even if you wanted to pick a choice matchup into the Renekton, like a Jace or like Karma, as soon as Nocturne hits 6, that's awful. Like you just get dove on cooldown. You don't have a way to protect yourself. You need to pick something which is very hard to dive. At least you have that with the Azrael Karma. It's very stable. You're not really going to get too many angles in onto them there. I just don't know what they can pick to even keep themselves safe on side lanes.
It's such a strange hole Godsent find themselves in currently, at least in my position. We'll see what they lock in here as sort of a response. Aatrox to try and match the Renekton, I imagine, but I think with the Renekton Nocturne, it can go in either lane. So, you know, if you want to chuck Nocturne up in the top side, which I feel like you're maybe more inclined to do, then all of a sudden Aatrox is kind of just chilling up there now. As for the bottom lane pick, honestly, you can go something like Kaiser Leona just to outright have the dive. the conditions are here for a Vayne pick if Bean wants them, because I know Bean doesn't mind playing Vayne occasionally, so I'm just going to throw that one out there. But traditionally, Varus, pretty strong answer. And just more than likely, yeah, the Leona pick can still slot in there because you want a little bit more engage follow-up for the Nocturne Paranoia. I think Fnatic just kind of got away with murder in the draft. Not to say that Godsent don't have a strong draft themselves, it's just that Fnatic Rising basically just like got S-tier picks top to bottom.
It's Exodia. There you go.
I
All
completely
piece
agree.
of the forbidden one.
It's just that I'm kind of stunned that you get a third pick Nocturne in the current meta, and then you go through second round of bans and you pick up Varus Leona. Like, it's baffling. I mean, there's an opportunity. We're gonna have to see what's locked in for Godsent. They could also send and have 2 solo lanes that could rotate around. A little bit less so with the Victor, because Victor top isn't a thing. Stop it. But I can't get past how much Fnatic Rising have been able to pick up here.
The only way I think literally the only way you win this way as Godsent is have hyper ganks, shut down the lanes early from Volibear, and just hope to God that Victor can farm post 6. Because you need to be very good at reactive plays as Godsent in this draft, because there's too many options here for Fnatic to just smash through all your lanes when they have their ultimates.
I think Godsent are going to need a Godsent to make this one work, in my opinion. Not only are they up against tough opponents, I think it's just, I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, the only place you can maybe skirmish is the top side, sort of pre-6. After that, though, once move form becomes available, and then also like the dominance from the Renekton, it just becomes nearly impoable to even try to skirmish up there.
That's it.
That's about it. Nocturne also is going to be able to have first move almost always.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to see the merits here for Godsent. It's literally just, we have a strong side, top side potentially, and we have scaling out of our mid and AD, and we're just going to pray. And that's about all.
You don't get to scale if you don't get to farm.
In any other league, on any other week, I'd say, this one's pretty much in the bag for that, guys. But miracles do happen in the NLC, and to take us through our final game of the day, it's Hypre and Norks. Take it away.
I'm joking, I'm just messing with my producer. Let's get ready to go into our final game of the day. Fnatic taking on Godsent. Orcs, I feel Fnatic got away with murder in this draft.
No. Mid is what comes next.
Okay.
I mean, I really respect the professionalism of our analyst desk to, particularly Vibe Room, to have a lot of hopium there. But, Nocturne is a problem. I can't even emphasize how broken this champion is on this patch. They are nerfing Nocturne on 11.14. Next week we'll be going to 11.14. They're nerfing Nocturne. They're nerfing his passive for minions so he can't shove as fast. They are also nerfing Stridebreaker pretty heavily. And I feel like he's the biggest abuser of that item. Like, his win rate skyrocketed in solo queue as soon as they changed Stridebreaker to have that 90% slow. And it's just... you have a Victor, right? What are you going to do? He just dashes on you. He ults on you. 90% slow, you're dead, right? It guarantees the fear lands, and it's so doomed. And, on top of that, we have Renekton. Really staple pick in the current meta. Really strong topside pick. And with the bruiser items, doesn't fall off as badly as he used to. Diana as well, big team fight potential. The bot lane has a ton of engage. Varus is oppressive.
I mean, all it really takes is a couple of arrows and then Paranoia, Moonfall, Ace. Godsent had the longest game of the split yesterday in their last game. Was our Mastercard Nexus Insight. But I honestly think from the way Fnatic have drafted and the fact that they really need to start to return to form because they have not had a particularly great couple of weeks, they need to get a fast win here. They need to prove us that they are still one of the top teams. Because remember, for so long, our academy teams have just been the bee's knees here in the NLC, and prior to that, the UKLC.
And, I think, in fairness to Fnatic, Riddle are a pretty solid team who managed to take them down. There definitely was some mistakes coming out from Fnatic, some poor fight options taken. And maybe we see more of that here. But they definitely are in a good spot.
Just been given a quick tip from behind the scenes, but Fnatic Rising's game versus Godsent is actually the shortest game of the summer NLC. So while Godsent own the title for the longest game, they also have the shortest
Oh my
game.
God,
It was
Jake,
18 minutes and 40 seconds.
Jake!
What?
It's not true. It's a meme. Jamada posted a meme.
God damn it!
Oh, he literally said next week it'll say Fnatic's game against Godsent is currently the shortest game. It was a joke.
I should read what he says. I should read what he says. I just saw the little bit of information. I read it out. Ah, God damn it, Jamada.
I'm speechless, honestly.
I've said it before. Dyslexics are teeple poo. Leave me alone.
I mean, you've entered this as hard as Godsent entered draft, but I've gone heavily on that point many times.
No. Come on, man. They have families.
I mean,
Can't
it's just...
kill them like that. That's Fnatic's job.
I mean, okay, let's talk about what could happen. Early aggression. Volibear can activate a lot sooner than a Diana. So if you try and find agency off the back of that, you can definitely cement a lead. Mid and top a little bit precarious. You know, we talked about Victor being able to match Lucian in Prio, but Nocturne's actually pretty damn good at taking priority. That's why his passive is being nerfed on minions. He can just shove endlessly, and with a spell shield, it's kind of hard to trade with him. Also a ton of sustain, so you can see here, just shredding through the waves. Top lane as well, Renekton, once he hits 3, can really start to get up in Aatrox's face. So bot lane is the potential window. You know, maybe you can find a way to lean down there and apply some pressure. So far, Houston's Vene are able to find some. But the problem is, unlike the lanes we've seen before, where it was like, you know, things like the Aphelios Lulu, Varus Leona has kill threat, you know, at level 3. Varus Leona has a lot of kill threat at level 6. And I see a cleanse, but it doesn't matter because they're not going to be trying to kill Yusa. They're going to kill Svene.
Maybe trying to block some of the damage, but now he's got the fear onto 610.
Has no mana.
Like you said, no mana on 610, so heavily chunked out by Febby, and that's just corrupting potion. He wasn't even having it chug in. As Maxi may be looking for something here in the bot lane. Rux may just look for the flash. He's got himself the Zenith Blade into the damage. Zene is going to be that target, slowed down by the hail of arrows, and Bean secures first blood.
Yep. So what I think could have happened there is when Aesthetic came bot side to clear the scuttle, is you help your bot lane crash the wave, then you cheat a reset before he goes top side, and you let the wave bounce. Problem is, because the wave didn't get to bounce, Houston's Vene are still overextended, and as I said, the cleanse on Houston doesn't matter because Vene is the one who's gonna end up going down. And even stacking this wave up to try and clear it really fast, he's gonna get chased down. That's a TP flank as well.
Yeah, they are looking for that teleport. Kubu's coming in. They got the spell shield, but Febby on the run, flashes over the wall, but Kubu chases him down and will secure the kill as they take away the chicken camp and everything.
Yeah, a little bit overambitious. We saw that from before from Bevan when he was trading up in 610's face on no HP. He does it again, and Godsent punished pretty heavily with this collapse coming out. You now see they're actually just temporarily, I believe, putting the Victor up top lane as Kubu catches this wave. But yeah, just a bit of an overstep coming out for the Nocturne. But, you know, as much as I tend to say you shouldn't waste flash when you're already dead, Bevan did trade 2-for-1 in terms of flashes. So still, that aspect is positive for Fnatic, even if obviously him dying isn't.
Well, the reset is coming in from Kubi. He's making his way over. Pride pops the Dominus. Actually looks to chase him down. Caught out for the moment, but Pride just slices, he dices, and forces the flash from 610. Pride, I don't just getting a free chunk there, but he does lose a fair amount of health and has to be somewhat careful, though. Maxi will spot out Kubu and jump into his face, although Kubu has the ultimate available. The Infernal Chains will pull Maxi back in.
Yeah, remember when I said that whole Victor top lane thing was temporary? That's why you want it to be temporary. You really don't want him hanging around with the Renekton. And now he's lost his flash. Bevan has paranoia. Definitely makes things a little bit precarious.
Yeah, Febby
We actually see a pretty deep invade coming in from Maxi.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really go for this one. Godsent collapsed him, but, you know, he's actually gaining a lot from this. If we look top lane, Kubu moved down to assist and defend there and ended up losing a plate. So Pride building up a pretty substantial lead in the top lane. You know, Fnatic are more than happy with.
He's going to go off for his reset here. Febby not finished up that whip yet, so hasn't got the ridiculous wave clear that you do get once the whip's done.
Yeah, it makes things pretty crazy. And then obviously the full Strybreaker is just insane.
And look at the Dragon. It's going to be that Cloud Drake picked up early by Fnatic. And it's a nice one for them to get as that first Dragon. You ideally don't want it as the soul, but, you know, getting 10 ability haste on your ultimate for someone like Featherman when his rank 1R is on a fairly lengthy cooldown does just give him a little bit less time to work with in between his ultimate cast. So not an awful one for him. Oh, got the Zenith Blade. They don't have the Chains of Corruption yet, so Yusa just can take a little bit of damage, although...
But Cleanse gone.
Cleanse is gone. They just flash into his face. They look for that arrow.
Flash gone.
And, flash for flash.
You know, we were talking about how Yusa's pretty safe with the summoners, but
no.
I actually really like this trade coming out from Fnatic Rising. They don't have their
Yusa's
jungler, but Featherman's
Yusa's
here.
dead. Paranoia's on, and the arrow won't even be necessary. Rux secures the kill, but now they're coming in. They get the Chaos Storm down, and Rux, it might just be a trade that goes completely poorly for Fnatic as Febby tries to find some kind of an answer onto Svene, forces off the fear, and will be able to chase him down for the kill, but he has been rooted by the tether. Meanwhile, there's a dead Aatrox in the top lane, and Featherman will lose his life to Aesthetic.
Okay, so good things about this play. I like Bean and Rux's decision to heavily trade when they know they're having reinforcements, you know? Featherman's expressing he can roam down. They're like, okay, we're going to trade heavy. We're going to burn a lot of sums, put them in a dangerous position so they can be dove. The thing I don't like about the play is Maxi wasn't on that side of the map. Pride has TP advantage, but was looking for a 1v1, so wasn't in position to follow through. I think, you know, it just feels like Fnatic are a little bit disjointed and aren't all on the same page. And as a result, Godsent are able to punish that. Now, Bean... actually can just kill him here.
It's going to be a pretty big arrow, actually. Flashes in and secures the kill. Bean, I feel solo kill there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of champions can build lethality, but Varus really is acting like an assassin right now. Able to pick up a nice kill onto the Victor, and then he'll just go back to farming in the bot side. You see Yusa was covering mid, but he'll have to move down to defend. And it's so scary rotating between lanes whenever Featherman has his ult up. For now, they're fine. But they're going to throw down the Herald mid. It's going to be the standard mid two-plate play with this one. Featherman's going to try and stay in range to get the gold. And just will pick that up.
I get that third? No.
Close, but it's basically an auto away when there's plenty of time to pick up. We get a replay. So, again, the heavy trades came in to set this play up, which I do kind of like. But if Diana was here, this goes very differently. If Renekton was set up to TP, when they saw more numbers, they could have turned it around. Ultimately, concept is good. I like the idea behind it. Setup is not, and Godsent are able to respond.
Febby obviously does answer out on the tail end, but then loses his life shortly after.
I think another thing too is if Maxi helps shove mid in and then rotate over, 610 finds it much scarier to rotate through the jungle against like a Nocturne Diana. And obviously this was just solo kill there. We do see actually this time Maxi has come over to assist.
And there's the Paranoia. They're going to follow up, but he's got that Moonfall available. One more dash into the Paradigm, and Maxi secures the kill. Has been taunted underneath the tower. This tower's done a lot of damage. He will lose his life. They find the Zenith Blade. They find the chains. And Rux will go on a killing spree now. He is 2-1 on that Leona.
It's just so hard to survive against the engaged tools of this composition. Maxi kind of oversteps a bit. You definitely could have just taken the kill on a Yusa. You wouldn't have been flash. You would have been completely fine. But he tries to overstep and greaves for 2, and as a result gets punished. But still, it's a 2-for-1 trade for Fnatic. Big wave missed out on by Yusa. More plays picked up for the team, really cementing their lead, and they're now 3,000 gold up.
Rux is worth a shutdown, though, so they need to be a little careful on that front. It's only 150 gold, but it is still a shutdown, nonetheless. 11 minutes in. Luden's Echo has been finished up for 610, so he's got a lot of wave clear, but Febby on that basis just finished his Stride Breaker, so there's that big spike we've been talking about. And the Paranoia already half the way off the cooldown, so, you know, that Cloud Soul helping somewhat in reducing that.
Absolutely, and it starts quite a longer cooldown, but it gets lower and lower and lower, and becomes problematic. Again, this just Stride Breaker with Nocturne is so broken. This is why this champion's been basically banned almost every game in the NLC. And honestly, on 11-13 in general, it's going to be banned pretty consistently globally, just because the combination, and this is a one-patch wonder, by the way. It's getting nerfed on a 11-14. The slow on Stride Breaker, and again, Nocturne, huge abuser of it, because even if you flash, you're slowed so much that Nocturne can just stay in range and the fear tether still applies. It's just so difficult to get out. And now 610, gotta be really careful.
He's got that stride breaker, uses the spell shield, gets the fear off, but Febby not going to commit for the kill. And now 610 actually going to be able to throw the ultimate down. Fnatic's also making his way over, and Febby no flash. Not entirely sure what Featherman was doing there.
You know what? He's making Nocturne look balanced, so fair play to him. Maybe he's not happy about Riot nerfing it, so he's given a few over, but just walking up, acting as if he's confident to go in, but realistically, you're not diving him on the tower, it's not solo, and ends up getting punished.
Honestly, I've had a few questions about Featherman this split. He's honestly not had the most impressive split at all, as might have to hold that fort as Maxi getting jumped onto by Fnatic and just going to force him out of his own jungle. There's a teleport coming in.
They can engage now.
They're bringing Featherman. There's the paranoia. They're jumping in onto the big old polar bear. As the flash, the Zenith player jumping underneath the tower, but Pride unable to chase, and the Fnatic will live.
Yeah, hard target to reach with the volley bear. Ideally, would have gone for the Victor, but he was just too far ahead. They will be able to translate this into a dragon. So still finding a technical advantage, but a lot burnt for that. Started Godsent. Although in fairness, 610 flash now unavailable. Aesthetic flash now unavailable. Those two kind of become vulnerable targets. I mean, particularly the Victor on the back of that.
Oh, it's an Infernal Soul this game. It's going to be lovely for someone like a Varus. As Kubi maybe looking for a little something on the Pride. Pride has the Dominus and the flash. Is going to get jumped onto. Pops the Dominus, gets instantly stunned, goes for the slice. Caught out for the moment and goes back in for the dice. He's trying to turn it around. He's trying to buy time for Featherman to come in and save the day. Pride's got a lot of sustainers. He's able to turn it around. Here's the backup teleport, though. They're bringing in friends. They're bringing in backup. Looking for the turnaround of 610. Instantly going low. That's going to be a pop onto 610. It's a double kill for Featherman. And Pride will find the third. The True Shot Barrage is coming in from downtown, and it's not going to be close enough.
Yeah, a little bit late on that one, and you know, I think we saw the TP, and you can see Fnatic did not seem afraid at all, and it just took me like a split second to click. It was Victor TPing, and I was just like, this isn't going well. This isn't going well. You see Pride, so he could actually get out of this situation. He could dash out here, but instead opts to dash back in, continue the fight, avoids the E from Volibear as well to stay healthy. And then Featherman turns up. He flashes to secure this kill. And then the TP comes in. Normally you'd think, okay, maybe they're back up. But no, they know this is a Victor. They're like, look, let's kill him. And Victor does his combo, but the healing comes out from Pride. Victor gets hit, and it's like, no, you don't want to TP there. You don't want to end up in that situation. Not a fun one. And I think you kind of see in the pressure this Nocturne applies. Very easily can just move up to the side lane. That was ultless as well. But just the fact he has so much priority means it's so easy to find these opportunities to move.
Yeah, I mean, such a powerful champion. And considering how, you know, it's been a bit of a poor start for Featherman on the Nocturne as well. Still being able to find that level of impact. So
okay.
Might be looking for a little something onto 610. The Hex Flash out the bush from Rux, and 610 bolts the other way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's just glad there isn't a Featherman's top lane.
Wouldn't take him long to get down, though.
Nope. Has to that level 11, so a bit longer range on that ultimate now available. And you can see they're all grouping around mid, throwing this Herald down. And again, we talked about earlier how they went for the standard 2-plate play mid. Just throw it down, get 2 plates. It sets up for the second Herald to pick up the tower on the back of it. And Fnatic have been pretty on point with their objective securing. With that mid push, they can now move into the dragon area. They are being contested.
All about Spooky Bear. Maxi trying to jump away. Beam throws out the chains. Here's the paranoia, and it's straight onto the back line. Can't find the opportunity to get the turnaround yet, as Yusa still free firing away. Good moonfall from Maxi onto Yusa onto the backline, but the Darkened Blades from Kubu ripping through the side of Bean and Rux. But this is a Fnatic fight all over. 610 might be able to get a kill, but the rest of his team are scattered.
And it's just a little bit ambitious, that engage from Godsent, going in way before the rest of the team there. And again, Godsent kind of need... I mean, it's really hard to set up, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying picks are bad, but they want to be a bit more grouped. They want to rely on the strength of this Karma. When Nocturne flies in, he really enjoys flying on single targets and decimating them. When teams are grouped together, it's a bit more difficult. I think he actually just might kill 610.
Gets the fear
or at least
off,
be able to disengage. Yeah, Gravity Field a pretty strong tool there. Both of them just end up walking away. But again, Fnatic coming out clear winners in that fight.
And the Serpent Fang's now been picked up. Again, a very high value item. When you're going to be looking at Sterix on both the Volley Bear and Kubu, Karma shielding, plus Victor shielding. Have a look at the fight.
And I mean, yeah, Aesthetic and Yusa kind of isolate here, and they're looking for Maxi, who's, again, you know, he's not super tanky, but he's not the easiest target to take down with just 2 people. The re-engage comes in, and in the extended fight, you know, this backline flank from Pride is massive. 610's only just turning up now, and he does manage to kill Maxi, but for a big portion of this fight, Godsent just didn't have the numbers, whereas, you know, with Fnatic Rising, the Nocturne can just fly straight in to assist.
Coming out of the replay is the Dragon spawning up in 30 seconds time.
Don't think they can contest. They might try.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't think Godsent can even bother contesting this. They may just have to give this up, but then you're looking at a potentially very early Infernal Soul, and you're going to have to fight that 4th one. And I'm not even sure if they're going to be powerful enough by the 4th one to be able to contest, because Bean is just getting stronger and stronger, and Pride is coming in. The Paranoia's on. They're looking for the fight. 610 will be the victim of Featherman as he looks to try and chase it into Yusa, but Yusa's got a lot of damage to get himself the kill. They come over the wall, Rux flashes, the Solar Flare connects, and Pride chases for a little bit more, but no Zenith Blade available. It's just the 1 kill for now. We say that,
that
means
one.
that he gets sped up to flash into him, but Maxi jumps onto the back line, and Fnatic has to launch out to safety. Big arrow comes through from Bean as well. And that might be enough just to stop them from going to the Dragon right this moment.
Good luck, TP on Featherman. He's in base and waiting to come back in. TP plan coming in. You can see this top right of the screen.
No Paranoia available, but he's on that flank, and 610 has to just bolt the other way. Febby looking for Yusa as Maxi will make short work of him. Featherman able to tidy it up, and here comes the arrow. Another one picked up for Bean as Pride will take out the back line. Bean gets himself a double kill, and that will be the Dragon over to the side of Fnatic along with an ace.
And that's that murder I was talking about. Comes to fruition here. Dragon gonna get taken 3 now for Fnatic Rising. A 9,000 gold lead. Things are not looking good for Godsent. I'm gonna jump into this replay. So initially, ult comes in, dives onto the Victor, just trying to make things difficult. And Featherman buys all the time here, but does get chunked out, so he just ends up disengaging. And Aatrox ends up just getting decimated by Fnatic Rising. The disengage comes through. We then see Featherman reset TPs in the flank. And as a result, 610, again, he can't join the fight because he has to back away. He's being threatened. And we see the 3 left alone in a 4v3. Featherman comes in to clean up. You can see Aesthetic try to trade kills on Leona, but you know, Leona's already done her job. Even if he gets that kill, it's still just a hard win for Fnatic Rising. The gold deficit is massive. We're 1 Dragon away from Soul. Aaron up and available, and Godsent in a dire position.
I just don't know how Godsent can ever get back into this game. You're looking at a 7-1-6 Varus. Sure, he's worth a lot of money, and there's a lot of shutdown you can get from kills, but what is your hard engage? As Fnatic jumping in, you don't have something like a Leona to kind of snap those fights, and the same with like the Paranoia as well. I just don't think they have the tools to be able to deal with Fnatic now that they're this fed. And I think it's going to have to be a bit of a misplay from Fnatic for Godsent to actually find a way back into this game.
If Godsent botch a dive really badly, and like they end up like getting stunned up in a gravity field, maybe on the tower or something, that's kind of like maybe where I could see it, but
you don't want your win conditions being the enemy team making a mistake, because that then is the game is so out of your hands.
I mean, absolutely. And I feel like, you know, when you're this far ahead, when you have composition like Fnatic's, that's kind of where it is now. You really need a misplay. Maybe they end up like overstaying for too long. Someone steps out too far, someone gets picked. But these are all like, again, Fnatic has to make mistakes. If Fnatic handles their waves carefully, doesn't push up too far, plays things relatively slow, and then sets up vision control, they should just be winning consistently from here. Bean just missed an arrow though, so you know, anyone can make mistakes apparently.
I'm not sure if that's the kind of misplay you need. As Maxi jumps in with the Moonfall, and he gets himself caught out. The Solar Flare is going to connect. They're going to back away for now.
And maybe that's the thing. If he misses the next 50 arrows in this game, then it doesn't matter that he's 7-1-6, right?
If he never hits anything, then yeah.
Exactly. Because I do know that Varus arrows tend to do significantly less damage if they don't hit.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, more if they don't hit minions. Thank you for your input, Orcs.
No, I mean, you said that, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not responding. Don't know what don't know what you want me to say to that one.
True, Jake. You are correct. It does reduce damage depending on how many
I thought
people it
about
hits.
saying that, but I thought, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to throw you the bone.
Come on,
You're going to make a
man.
statement like that, you need to justify it, Jake.
It's factually correct. It is
Yes, but I was
factually
saying
correct.
not hitting champions, so, you know.
I mean,
Can't
yes,
compare
also,
apples and oranges.
okay, so both our points are factually correct. I think we can move on from there now then.
Yeah, but you brought in a tangential point, you know.
I'm just trying to be part of the conversation here, man.
I was actually about to say, maybe I don't want you to be caught it. That's mean. I'm sorry.
I like how you had to apologize for something you didn't say.
I really wanted to. Jake.
You're the worst.
Godsent might try and look for a pick here.
Yeah, they're going to jump over the wall. Bean has to flash away instantly as he throws out the chains and catches it onto the big bear. Stun down, lockdown, and Bean will secure the kill as Pride able to zone them away as well.
That's the problem. You look for one of those plays. Flash is still up for Fnatic Rising. A lot of summoners available, and as soon as they can use those to disengage, they re-engage, they win. The gold advantage. 11,000 now. It's very hard because I don't think that necessarily is the wrong play from Aesthetic.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a dead robot. No, he's able to jump away. Maxi comes in with the Moonfall and the Lunar Rush to secure himself a double kill. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, critical mistake there from Godsent in that they existed when Fnatic also existed. And Featherman and Maxi didn't appreciate that, so they decided to sort of end 610 and Svene's existence pretty swiftly. Maxi doing a lot of damage right now on the Diana.
Yeah, he is. Well, now that he's got those 2 kills, he's suddenly really big. He's got himself the Zonya's Hourglass, the Protobelt finished up, and he'll be actually going to base and buying another item fairly soon, but he wants to pick up this dragon, and
you know,
he's going to do more damage now.
The thing I was going to say is that Aesthetic getting those two, getting the flash from Bean, could have been a point Godsent looked to capitalize on. You know, they reset, they come back on the map, they try and kill Bean. The fight probably still wouldn't have gone in their favor, but at least it's an attempt. But losing 610 and Svene just before the dragon spawns, you know, it's pretty doomed. And now that it's gone, Fatal Soul for Fnatic Rising makes things even scarier, which...
I just want to see what Bean's arrows are doing now.
You ever thought about the fact that maybe you're a sadist, Jake?
Why?
Because you want to see the pain of Godsent. I don't want to see this.
You know what? I don't even think I should justify that
that was
an
nice.
answer. As Bean jumping away, the tower's going to land, and they are looking to punish him, but a Paranoia will shut this play instantly down. Pride's on the back line, and it is Godsent getting sent back to God as they are wiped off the map, wiped out of the game, and Baron can go over to Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a correct play. You try and pick Bean, and then you deal with what happens after. Unfortunately, with this amount of a gold lead, you know, even the correct play often isn't enough. Godsent so far behind now. Baron going to be taken by Fnatic Rising, and it's just like, as soon as you start the play, TPs are flying in, Nocturne's flying in with the ult, Medjai's already picked up for Maxi. It's very hard to play from this point. But, you know, we still haven't seen Bean's arrow, like, smashed one of the squishies. Oh, my lord. Did you see how close that was?
It was close.
That went at like 40 HP. That could have been such a hero moment. I'm disappointed we didn't get that. But either way, we see Bean get jumped on. The lack of flash, something they did punish. But Rux and Pride are flanking. Febiven flies in. It's like, okay, yeah. You know, you kill one of us, you lose 3 members. Not exactly a good trade, but I respect the fact that these Godsent are trying to be proactive in this scenario, trying to make something happen. We can see that Fnatic have pushed that top wave pretty deep, pushed that bot wave pretty deep as well. But I think top wave is the one they're going to leave in this situation with that tier 2 still available. So they push in mid, and they still have a lot of time really before they need to answer the top wave. So they'll move down here very aggressively and push in to try and threaten this tier 2. And it's very hard for Godsent to defend right now. You see how aggressive they're pushing forwards into this side of the jungle.
That is going to be the last tier 2 going down. Fnatic able to take it. Fnatic looking to try and jump in. There is no Feathervan with his teleport.
They'll flash on Bean
Looking
again.
for Bean. The Chains of Corruption are going to connect all the CCs. Bean thrown onto Bean. He's still alive, but the True Shot Barrage takes him down. Maxi hasn't joined the fight yet. And Feathervan waiting for that paranoia. The health bars are so low as the lights go out. And here comes Feathervan rolling for everybody on Godsent as Vene goes down. And that is the ace for Fnatic. And that will be the game.
And again, Godsent try and find the correct play, but it just is not enough. The goal difference too big. The power of these champions, too much of a gap. And Fnatic will close out this game, was being, quite honestly, a stomp.
An absolute stomp indeed. 29 kills to 9 kills. 27 minutes on the clock. As Fnatic Rising take the win over Godsent in dominating fashion. And that's the last time we see Nocturne on this patch, because that's the last time we're playing on this patch. And that was the first time we saw him on the patch, and that was disgusting. That was genuinely disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to deal with. He flies in, slows you by 90%. It's like you're getting feared or dying. There's no way you can really, like you saw Godsent being like, we found a numbers advantage with 5v3, but Nocturne just flies in and kills your backline afterwards. And in fairness, they were behind in gold, but there's so many facets to this champion that make him powerful right now. And I just think there are too many tier 1 champions on Fnatic's side. You gave over too much. You weren't able to really handle the early game pressure. The one lane that was winning bot got punished, and then things just fell apart from there.
Orcs, been a great day with you. I have only just noticed, but again, we are matching in t-shirt color. Beautiful stuff from us. Honestly, so coordinated, but we're going to pass it over
yours
to...
looks a little bit blue, though, on your camera.
Yeah, well, mine's because I've got a bluer light, you've got a more orange light. We're going to pass it over to people who are less coordinated than us, and that is our analyst desk. So Viper, take it away.